Bang! Neevesknives. I'm Jared, and let's get into this. So, if you guys seen the unboxing I did, um, we got some concept knives. I got a bunch of topics today to go over, but we got the concept knives in, and one of the biggest questions, and I'm even curious myself, is if this stud will reverse to the other side. Well, we're going to find out here in 1 second. So, I just want to say right off the bat, though, man, this thing's pretty awesome. And seeing as how Concept and Kaiser, man, they're neck and neck. If you really look at what they're doing, man, they're both pulling out some heat this year. And I don't know if they're in competition or what's going on. You got to think they're in a little bit of competition, you know. Concept used to work for Kaiser, you know, whatever happened with that. I don't know if they're beefing. I don't know what happened, but what is it? Kim Ning moved to do his own stuff, took his CNC machines that I guess were at Kaiser's facility at one time and made his own facility. Well, they both came out with multiple multiple knives by the exact same designer, one being Sheepdog. So we got the Sheepdog Deviant and the Concept Convict. So you know we're gonna have to do a head-to-head, and I know some people are gonna say, well, man, they don't even compare, but they kind of do. They're both the same designer. They have similar blade shape, similar size, and the materials are a little different, but I think they're right around the same price, at least close to it. Anyways, one thing I didn't notice in the unboxing was if you look at this shape of the handle, there's like a little divot right here for your thumb, and it has, you know, the finger thing, but then it kind of goes this way. It lays in your hand so comfortably. It's very, very nice, like really comfortable. Great size too, for medium size carry. You know, some people don't like really big knives. Some people just can't handle carrying, you know, XM24s every day. Look at the size difference. If I can pull it up without being a moron. Look at that. Look at that size difference. Holy moly. Big, big difference. But let's try taking the stud off really quick, and I'm going to keep talking. I like the name Convict. I love it. Oh yeah, also, man, I've been really liking this this little CRKT pack with the bits and the driver. It's been coming in handy. I don't use it as my primary to do anything really, but is it a T8? T6? But I do use it though, especially sitting right here. What is that? I think it's a T7 or something. Oh, wait, what is... Oh, that's a T7. That's why. Dumbass. T6. Ooh, I might have to grab my smaller one. Oh, I think I got it. The Convict does look good. Did that thumb... We're going to check right now, Russ. Right now, we're checking because I'm curious myself. I will say I handed both the Convict and the Stellar to Kara, and right away when she flicked the Convict, right away she said, oh wow, that thing works better than I thought, meaning the action. Okay, so I got the screw out. So it just tells you, man, the detent is really good on this thing. There we go. Oh no, it doesn't. I'm sorry, guys, but you see how it has a hole now? I can, without the stud at all, reverse flick it. But I know a lot of people aren't going to be able to do that. I can use the hole for a flick. So if you don't like the stud, you definitely can take it out and use the groove. But I know a lot of people aren't going to be able to reverse flick it like that. But to me, it's pretty easy. And the detent is still pretty strong. It's just, it's very tuned for a thumb stud, which can't be too strong. But as you can, the more and more I flick it, like If you just got it fresh out of the package, no, you're probably not going to be able to. But after opening it a few times, I don't think it would be that big of an issue. I'm going to put this back on, and then I'll just Loctite it later. So I don't want to lose the screw or anything. So it does snug fit in there. Like right now, there's no screw in it, and it's perfectly in there. And it's pretty solid, too. I bet I could open it without it popping out. And I can see they used a blue Loctite, which is awesome. But I'm going to have to re-Loctite it in a little bit. Anyways, very awesome, though. All these designs that they keep coming out with left and right. And I knew that they were going to, because, you know, I seen the catalog. Hopefully you guys did too, because I had it linked in the description for anybody that wanted to check out Concepts 2021 catalog. They had the opportunity, and they have a lot of really cool designs. And I see Civivi's coming out with new designs too. I guess at the Blade Show they're gonna have, so I don't know if it's an auto or if it's just a button lock, but they have a couple new designs dropping. Man, things getting stupid smooth the more I have it. But I don't know if they're just button locks or if they're autos. They kind of look like autos, and then one kind of looked like a button lock. It was two different designs, 2 or 3 different designs. What's the price on the Convict? You know, I'll find out right now. But I did link one in the video, so I'll just go right to that and look at it. Which you can get from Amazon. That's where I got the link from. So if you ever want to support the channel, 207 for this variant, and I think it was 217 for the Damascus or Damasteel one. I'm not sure if it's Damascus or Damasteel. It looks like Damasteel, but I'm not positive. But you know, for the S35VN version, you're going to get better edge retention and everything out of it. But they have different ones. They got a blacked out version. They got this version. They got a blue titanium version. And then this version, I think, with the Damasteel or something like that. What's up, Grateful Panic? Man, I got to figure out how to set the time on these videos, because somebody came in and they're like, looks like something's messed up. I'll come and check in later or something like that. I was like, oh, man. Get rid of this. But yeah, so another knife that I seen coming out from Civivi, new Mallory designs. If you guys remember, CJRB did that. What was the Centros? So Mallory Designs, same one that did the CJRB Centros, has a Civivi coming out, which looks pretty sweet. Hopefully I'll be able to get my hands on that. That's awesome. We got some a K390 Delicate today. That is badass. K390 it's the shit. It's sweet. The only problem with it is, like I said in that one video, that it will patina, it will rust. So you have to take care of it. And speaking, yeah, Dylan Mallory. Yes, Dylan Mallory. Thank you. Seems logical. So speaking of patina, I got a video coming up soon. I'm gonna try to get it all done for the review, because I wanted to add it in the review with the Kaiser Deviant, which I have in copper. So I was going to, in the video, show how to patina copper into the blue, where it has the blue. And so I was going to do green, but you know, there's different techniques where you can get it red, you can get it green, and you can get it blue. So I think I'm going to go with the little bit of green, lots of a little bit of pop of blue, and then some of the copper, and teach in the video how to do it at home. So, you know, maybe just like a little, you know, spot in the video, I'll show how to do that. I like to do that in my reviews. The only problem is when I add things like that, sharpening, whatever, into a video, it's hard to fit something into a review and not let it be 30 minutes long. So I'll have to take out the sharpening of that video probably and just add that other part in with the patina and try to do it really quick. Basically just break it down really fast. Are you the only mod tonight, Logical? Knife reviews going well. Oh man, yeah, I've been I won one of my two sons. I lost all the rest. I almost bought just straight outright one of the two sons I was bidding on Amazon, but I was like, no man, I like to save a few bucks, and the time for delivery was basically the same whether I bought it straight up or I or if I bid on it, and bidding on it I can get a better price, so might as well save a few buckaroos. What's up, brother? I like how you put that sharpening choil in there. Yeah, the where do I got it? I got it sitting over here. Yeah, it the sharpening went good with the Monterey Bay knives. Definitely happy with the edge it took. It's not, you know what, it sharpened up very similar to mine. Even the grind, like, basically the exact same, very similar. The steel, like, it took a polish, and it's still very, very sharp, but it's not to the level of stickiness that I would want out of the best M390 or 20 CV or anything like that. But it's still reasonable. It's not also to the point to where I would say you don't want that on, or you don't want a polished edge, because a lot of times, 20 CV and M390 is iffy. It's really wishy-washy when it comes to, and we're going to talk about that too, when it comes to polished edges. Sometimes it's beautiful. No matter what, it'll always take a polished edge, but whether or not you're going to get that level of stickiness from the edge that you kind of want. Now, say if it doesn't have that stickiness and it's still very sharp, right? It's still very sharp. It'll work just fine. You'll use it a little bit and literally all the stickiness will go away and it will get slick. And that's the downside to polishing an edge that doesn't have that level of bite that you want from a sharp knife. Now, the Monterey Bay knives, it's fine. I mean, it's not like what I'm talking about right now, but with some steels, when you do sharpen it and it is sharp, but it's not sticky, you start using it, after you use it, it just gets slick. And literally you can take your fingers and just rub up and down the blade and it's not going to cut you without like putting a massive amount of pressure on it, which in my opinion, I don't like edges like that. To me, that's where edges get dangerous, even more so than an edge that has a burr or chips or anything like that, because at least with those it'll still bite into materials. When the edge is slick, it's you have the chance of sliding off things. Like when I got stabbed in the hand, it was because of that. Well, that was more or less because the edge was really thick and I was cutting something really thick. But I'm trying to get Outpost 76 on the live. If you guys don't know who Outpost 76 is, definitely check out his channel. So I talked to him yesterday, and he said after he's done with his move, he will come on. Now, I don't like... All right, so I love talking about his videos and the results he gets, but I also don't, because I don't want to reveal his videos without you guys going and watching them. But I am going to today, and I really feel bad for doing this. It has been up for over 24 hours. Hopefully you guys at least seen it, but there's something I want to talk about from it. So he tested crew wear. Okay, crew wear with a factory edge. Excuse me, with a factory edge. And I'm going to skip around a little bit. He goes into big detail about all little details and lots of, ins and outs. go watch his video and listen to the words he's saying. It's very important. But Crewwear got 155 cuts. 155 cuts with a factory edge. Now, skipping forward to a couple edges later, okay? Because he does a cut test with the first edge, second edge, and you can watch how it progresses and how much it changes. By the second edge, I think it was the second edge, don't quote me, but definitely go watch his video. Or no, third edge, sorry. The third edge, I think it was the third edge. 277 cuts altogether. 277 cuts. That is awesome. Think about the difference there between, going from 155 to 277. Even on the what would be the fine edge, which means it'll shave hair, it was at 197 feet of, am I saying cuts? Why am I saying cuts? Feet. 197 feet of cardboard versus 155 from the factory edge. And that's the fine edge. So the working edge got 80, 277 altogether. So my point is, look at the difference there between a factory edge and sharpening it a couple times. And the first edge you put on there got better results, but not dramatic, but it did get better results. But after putting a couple edges on there, you're talking, what would be 100 feet? It would be 250, over 100 feet, over like 120, 130 feet more from sharpening the edge. Now, is that a burnt edge? Well, obviously it's a burnt edge. I'm sure a little bit. And also, let me say this. He kept it at the same angle, because I know some people probably think, well, he changed the angle and all that stuff. Nope. Kept the same angle that the factory had. So now S90V. So with the factory edge, which this one didn't change much. It did change a little bit, but not much. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. It did change a lot. Listen to this. Check this out. S90V, 79 feet with the factory edge. 79 feet. After sharpening it, 448 feet. What? Like, think about that. Even on the fine edge, I think this was the first sharpening. Like I said, you guys got to go watch it, because I could be getting a couple of these numbers wrong. But 176 feet from the first edge, fine edge, meaning that it can still cut hair. Total cuts after the working edge and the fine edge, because basically what he does is he cuts cardboard until it'll stop shaving hair, writes that number down, continues cutting until it'll stop shaving paper. That then writes that number down, tells you the two numbers, add them together is the total. So you have the fine edge until it stops shaving hair, the working edge stops shaving paper, same edge. But anyways, think about that difference. 75 feet to 448 feet. That's crazy, right? That's a crazy difference, but that's showing you the difference between and I hope I heard it right, because I was writing this down. But the point is just look at how much it changes between factory edge and I hope I didn't hear him wrong. He said 179, but even if he did, that's still 448 after sharpening it. So it's crazy. Big difference. And that shows you, though, like how or what a burnt edge does or burnt steel does. And sometimes one edge is okay. It kind of depends on how you sharpen, right? Because there's times where I sharpen my first edge and I just remove a decent amount of steel off of the first edge. So I don't have to put 2 or 3 sharpenings on it. And basically I'm getting into good steel, and you can feel it. You really can. The difference between sharpening, and this isn't every time, some edges or some steel, it's fine right off the bat, but sometimes you'll put it on the stone and you will feel it as soon as you start hitting good steel. it'll feel like it's sharpening better. You can feel it getting harder where like it's going across the stones or the diamonds, and if you can feel the diamonds excuse me, doing justice. And yeah, what's up, Knife Sergeant? It's okay when you get a hand rub set. It's okay when you hopefully my internet's working better now. But how many people we got in there? We got 36 people in here. But yeah, that's nuts to me. And when I watch his channel, I love watching his channel. He does so much justice for us and all the hard work he puts in. I wish we had a couple more channels that did do a service like him. I wish Steve would come back and start doing more videos. I wish Pete from Cedric and Ada, he's awesome. I love watching his stuff too. He does rope, which I think is awesome. But it'd be cool to get more people doing it so we can get, and I don't everybody say you should do it because I'm not doing that. It is, I mean, that's just a devotion and I'm not going to do it. And this is another thing, the devotion you have to put in with like zero payoff. Yes, Cedric and Ada, he gets great views. He does. He gets great views because of his comedy, his humor, and a lot of things like that. But a lot of the cut test channels don't get many views. I think it's because it's like, I don't know, Outpost 76, he does a lot of the steel talk, which I think helps. But yeah, Pete is hilarious. He's definitely hilarious. But if you're dry, then you're not going to get many views. A lot of people don't want to see the cut test. They just want to hear the results. And yeah, Uncle Randy. It's funny because, he does the Uncle Randy thing. And I don't know personally, because, I've never been to Australia, if that even relates in Australia, but every American can relate to that. And I don't know if he just does that humor for Americans or if Australians get it too. I would have to imagine they do, but I don't know. I love it. All right, we're not going to Blade Show. Just so everybody knows, we wanted to. We can't. We're not going to do it. There's a couple reasons why. One reason why is, I'm still in the process of trying to get my license back, and the money that I would take out to go to Blade Show would be money away from a new car. So, got to be the responsible one. Or got to be responsible here. And don't get me wrong, I honestly think that the trip would benefit us massively, benefit the channel massively. And I do think it would be a great investment in a lot of ways, and I'm all for investing. But it's just, there's sometimes you got to just make that choice of whether or not that investment, is bigger than the other thing. And right now, for me to save back that money that I'd be spending to go, it's just not worth it right now. So sorry guys, we would love to go though. Another new knife. I know how you feel, Rhyme. What car are you looking to get, Jared? Any particular? No, but I got some family members with some car lots, and I know some friends, and I don't know yet. I haven't looked around or anything yet, but I'm gonna first get the LD or DL first, and then after that, I'm gonna get on the market and start looking. I know cars are going up right now, but I'll be getting one soon. That's what I'm talking about, Ed. That's what I'm talking about. That would be sweet to do one year, one of these years. Get everybody in the community, which I know they already do. It's called Blade Show, right? It's called fucking Blade Show. But so I guess it does sound kind of stupid, but I was going to say it would be kind of cool to get everybody in the community all together in one big party, but that's called Blade Show. So did you guys see the new Banter knife? Did you guys see that? The Wee Banter. You guys know about the Wee Banter. Ben Banter's made the Wee Banter. Well, he's got another one coming. And, everybody was upset. Not upset. Everybody was saying, man, I wish it was a little bit bigger. Man, I wish he'd make a bigger one. Well, you know what he said? Nope, we're making it smaller. I said that shit to him. Oh, I think that's hilarious. Man, I wish they had a bigger version. He's like, nope, we're going smaller. Fuck what you guys want. We're going smaller. But I will say, I personally think the new one looks even better than the other one. I'll try to find it really quick so I can show you guys. But yeah, I honestly think that the new one looks better than the old one because, well, you guys will see. It has a finger choil and it's it looks more comfortable, but don't get me wrong. I'm sure I never tried the first one, just so you know. I never tried the first one, but here it is. Let's check it out. There it is. Wait till it focuses. Looks pretty badass, if you ask me. And there's the size difference. It's quite a bit smaller. Quite a bit smaller. But I'll say this. I like the way they did the finger choil and choil. So the finger choil goes into the edge, but then they left you a little bit of meat to sharpen off of the edge. And then the plunge grind, I'm not sure how the plunge grind is, but it looks like they still let you a little something sharpen. But I think it looks pretty badass. And another thing, if you look at it, look at the lock bar. Look at that lock bar. The lock bar is like hanging out where you can get to it real easily. It's a little weird how far it hangs out, but badass. Definitely badass. So that's one I'm kind of psyched about, to be honest, for Kara. Cody's like going to be a hard no. Hard no. I know a lot of people it's going to be a hard no because it didn't go bigger, right? And I feel the same way. I didn't get the first one. I thought it looked cool. I really did. It wasn't my size. And even though like it's a really cool classic.
You have it?
No, I don't have it.
What are you showing me?
No, I was showing right here. That's the new one.
Why aren't you showing them on there?
Because I don't want to fuck shit up. Because you won't teach me.
You literally know how.
I don't. Lacey says it's pretty. I think it's for the baby pockets and jeans. Yeah, that's why I think she would like it. I really do.
Blade shape is kind of stupid.
Just in case if anybody's in here that doesn't know, this is my lovely wife, Kara.
Why? I don't know about this. I think that the blade shape doesn't work as well in a chunked form like that. Like it's like, and it's like on the big one, it makes sense because of the way the tip is and everything. But on the little one,
you don't want to try it
if it's free.
Well, no, I don't think those. You know what? I might be able to get Savivi to send us one to try.
If someone wants to loan it to us, but I don't.
Well, it's not out yet. So, what does it say the date?
I just don't know that I would spend. Well, I guess it depends how much it is. Let's put it like
Russ
that.
says it's okay.
Around 55 to 65.
That's not bad. We might have to get that. Yeah, Kara, who the fuck are you over here? Yeah, I think that sounds like a good price because the other one was 100. The other one, the big one, was 100. So 50. That's awesome. I think that's going to be a good deal. I might have to get one for my bag.
Why do you keep saying for me?
For you. That's how I get away with my knife purchases. It's for my baby. It's for Kara.
Yeah. I don't know about that one. If it was like a Warren clip or like a something.
You like the fatty slash, right?
I love that knife. I think it's so much fun. Look, You see this?
What am I
This
doing?
right here.
What are you doing?
See this?
Mm-mm. Oh, okay. Yeah, what? What am I doing?
Hold on, I'm going to show you. Because it's ridiculous that you're holding your phone up.
Keep going.
When you have this, what do we pay for this service for?
Hey,
You don't need
hey,
this.
hey, it
Why
says
don't you
my
cancel your
name. It says
subscription?
my name and the time.
I'll write your fucking name on a piece of cardboard and
Hold
tape
up.
it to the corner of the camera.
All right, show
What are
me.
you paying
Also,
for?
I can invite people because I'll post 76 on there.
Well, then you can restart your service every time you want to invite somebody. Because this is ridiculous. If he ever does that again, you message me personally. All right, look. You see this button that says share screen?
Yeah.
Boom.
Okay.
Share screen.
Share screen. Well, I didn't do anything.
Well, not yet.
Then you gotta hit the tab.
Well, you need to have something open that you want to share. See where it says Chrome tab?
Yeah.
This is Google Chrome that we're in. This whole internet is Google Chrome. So
Okay.
Chrome tab. See where it says
New
new tab?
tab,
That's
yeah.
the new tab that I opened. If you had YouTube on it, it would say YouTube. If you had anything else on it, it would say that on it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Share. But it's not going to share it
Because there's nothing on that.
instantaneously. Well, yeah, they could see Google right now. But it won't. See? Now they see Google.
Yeah.
If you want it to go
Well,
away,
get that off.
you go back to you. If you want it back,
So now
you go back.
I can go on Google though and how do I do it? How do I?
Where's your damn bell? Ding your bell. And say
Thank you, Ricardo. Hey. Where's it at?
Where's
Why is this all messed up? Hang on a second, baby. There we go. Thanks, Ricardo. You're awesome, man. I appreciate that. Thank you for the donation. So how do I pull? So the new tab, right?
Yeah.
I'm on it now. They can't see it, right? So I go back to here.
If you want them to see it, you hit one of the ones with the white square on it.
I hit this?
No.
What?
One of the things
One of these?
The last
So hold on. So right now they can't see it.
No.
Okay, so say if I want to pull up.
Pull up that knife.
We've been
You watching learning in action, guys.
Yeah, I don't like doing this with them though. Because they're all leaving. See? They all left already.
They would rather you
they
show
all
it on the
fucking
screen
left.
than you pulling your phone up
okay,
and
so
going, wait for it to focus. That's why I thought you had the knife. I'm like, does he have the knife in his hand? He's letting it focus.
I'm just gonna do this.
Well,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh no, I can't do that, right?
You can. It's fine. I mean, it's not as good as just going on YouTube.
So
or something.
what do I hit? Which one?
One of the ones with the square.
This one? Any
of the ones with the white square.
Okay, this one?
There's one.
This one?
There's one.
Okay.
But see,
but then how do I use it? I have to go like this now.
You have the luxury of having two devices, so you can still see what you're doing.
Yeah, I know. I just want to see what happened there. So okay, so they can still see us while I'm doing this.
Yes.
But they can't.
But they're gonna see everything you do now because that's up.
Right. So I got to be careful with all the pornography.
Just remember, if you get off the screen though, it won't show it to them. So like if you try to make a picture bigger, it's not gonna show it to them.
What do you mean?
If you were to click on this and make that bigger.
Oh, they can't see that?
No, because that's a new tab.
Gotcha. Chicago. Hey, bud.
You did it.
Thank you. Thanks, bud.
Oh, it's a hug.
Yeah, thank you.
Do the stickers.
People like watching me struggle. Oh, share your browsing history.
It would just say knife.
Yeah, it'd be a bunch of fucking knife shit. It'd be exactly what your guys' browser history looks like. And then there'd be like some weird, like crazy shit every once in a while, like, this isn't actually on there, but it'd be like just some weird crazy shit, like, can you chloroform a dog? Like weird shit, you know what I mean? Just out of nowhere.
When
like
we're trying to talk and say.
Well, when we're me and you like just bantering about stuff and be like, can you, like, does
we
that
did
work?
that one
Can you?
time with enlarged clitoris. Do you remember?
Oh
that?
fuck.
And then I went back on my phone like a week later to
What's up, Louisiana?
I've seen it in the search results.
Yeah.
I'm like, why were we looking this up?
Yeah.
But all right.
Are you leaving?
I'll see if I can cheer.
I do. You're also what?
My eyes hurt.
If you're not gonna stay, don't make me take this off.
I'm not gonna stay permanently, but I'll stay for a little bit.
Okay.
I've got bad guys.
Good enough for me.
I've got bad guys to kill.
Okay. Well, you're gonna come hang out with me for a minute. How about that? How about that?
Look, it's like my horse.
No, here, you take this chair.
No,
I'm gonna take that
I
one.
want it. It's like my horse.
He's riding the horse.
Ow, you crushed my leg.
You okay? Here, let me just turn it this way. There we go. Now we're voting here. What's up, Bees Blades? Thanks for jumping in. Okay, so now that we have you here, we can really do some internet shit. But we have some other topics we're going to talk about. Okay, so the title of the video was Practical User versus Badassery. What does that mean?
What is it?
Practical user. So, like, basically what I'm talking about is a knife that's practical, right? Good geometry, good sharpening choil, good ergos, you know, good pocket clip, all that, versus a knife that just, it looks badass, right? It might look badass, but it doesn't necessarily cut great. It's not necessarily practical, right? We all have those knives, or even just like where you see it and you're drawn to it because it looks badass. And I know there's some channels out there, right? Like I listen to shout out to Lefty EDC, right? Shout out to Lefty. Well, Lefty EDC was kind of bashing Civivi, right? And I know some other channels have done this as well, where they're like, it's another Civivi, you know, it's another fucking Civivi. But everybody can understand it because they do pump out a lot of knives. But what you got to remember is that the majority of people buying EDC knives aren't able to afford a $500, $600, $700, $800 knife, right? His knife collection consists of, I don't know how many, but let's say if he has 10 or 20 knives, because he doesn't keep a big collection, he keeps certain knives. So his collection is surrounded by badassery knives that he loves, and he basically gets rid of all the rest of them and just keeps like the badass ones, right? But most people aren't buying $500, $600, $700 knives. Now, a lot of people that buy a knife want it to be as practical as possible because they're using it as a tool. So Civivi is making knives. Hey, thank you, man. Chicago. Thanks, bud. Lefty, he's not real. He's not right. Right. So that's what I'm saying. He's not right. So he's also a lefty. So,
you married one.
I know. And he tried to tell me this study, the statistic on men who are married to lefties and about their penis sizes. But I had to tell him, I had to show him the graph and show him how he got it backwards. Actually, it's actually lefty guys who are married have small penises.
Is this a real graph?
Oh, absolutely. Anyway, Civivi. Civivi. So Civivi makes extremely practical user knives. Like, they're not gonna be expensive. They're not gonna be badassery. Their fit and finishes top notch. Their action top notch. They're sharp. They have good sharp. 9 times out of 10, good sharpening choils. Their geometry is amazing. What?
Somebody, I saw the relationship between Douglas and Daisy is going.
Oh, fuck.
And all I can say is that Jared's fucking left Daisy over there
where she wants to be.
Shelf.
They're fighting.
Like
they're fighting. They're fighting. I had to separate them. Okay.
I had to flip her over the other day. Her face was planted in the ground.
She chose that position.
No. You're mean to her.
I'm not mean to her.
Obvious difference between the
I'm
two.
not mean to her. What's up, Lindy Lou? Wait. Hello, everybody. Saw the term badassery in the title and knew I found my peeps. Nice. So, but having
he wrote badassery. That sounds like
did I?
He did.
Badass. Oh.
It sounds like a channel devoted to badass bass fishing.
Poor Daisy, poor Daisy. Daisy's just fine.
You're not. You don't treat her right.
I do treat her just fine. Okay?
No, you don't.
Yes, she is. She's
Why
well
has
fed.
she lived in this quadrant of the room then, and Douglas is up here?
Because they're separated right now. Sometimes
Why?
you got to
Why
separate
won't
the
you
dogs.
fucking let them work it out on their own?
Be-
Give her a shelf. Give her a shelf. Give her a shelf. Give her a shelf.
We'll see.
Why?
There's not enough space.
What about? You don't even see Douglas anymore. You have your own artwork. And my own artwork instead of Douglas.
All right, we're not sitting here talking about this.
You know what? I'm just saying.
Motherfucker.
Badass versus Civi, whatever you were saying.
I wanted to ask you about it.
Okay.
So, like, with you, right? If you had the choice to pick something that was just all downright badass, right? Maybe it's expensive. It's expensive, right?
It's cold in here. Sorry.
Versus a knife that's going to work for you great. Which one are you picking? A knife that's badass, right? And it works, so it's still a knife, right? It's still a knife.
But it doesn't work for me great.
No, what I'm saying is the user one, it definitely works for you great. A badass one works just fine, but it's not going to have the geometry.
I can answer
it's
that.
not going to have, say, a good sharpening tool. You know, it looks really badass and it works.
I can answer that very easily.
Which one are you going to pick? What?
I'm going to answer with an analogy.
Okay.
I don't know if it actually qualifies as an analogy, but in the morning when I'm getting ready for work and I go pick up a knife and I'm sitting there like, what do I want to carry?
Yeah.
I sit there and I always first think I want to carry something pretty.
Yeah.
And then I'll look, and as I'm trying to pick the pretty thing, I start thinking about my day and what I got to do. And I tell you what, I always walk out with the cheapest knife. Not necessarily the cheapest, but usually the one my mind starts to work through, and I wind up picking the best looking of the best use.
Isn't it kind of weird how that happens?
But I always want to go with looks, and then as I'm looking, I'm like, first I'll always look at the vapor.
Okay, which works great.
I know, but I look at the blade shape, and I'm like, no, I don't really want that. Like, I want a little bit.
Which I think that's a great blade shape.
It's fine, but it's just not.
It's not the one you want. I get you. Go ahead, keep going.
And I start doing that, and I start working my way down, and I'll wind up leaving with like the best looking of the best to use. So I would probably ultimately go with the user.
The user, yeah. I think everybody wants that ultimate user that is nice, right? Everybody wants that. But when we get down to the nitty gritty, right? Civivi, and specifically Civivi, they have the best, in my opinion, the best users. And I'm talking about the knives that you might not care about, dragging against, I know you always care about dragging against concrete or tossing it around, but it's a knife that works great. Their cutting geometry is great. Their sharpenability is fantastic. Their clips, the action, everything's great on them. So as a practical user, they are the best there is. Now, if you wanted to go with a great user that also is high end, Tucson's really good, because you're not spending an arm and a leg, but you're getting the high-end materials. And then there's some other companies that are like that too, Concept and Kaiser, but none of them are doing the geometry quite like Civivi. So, and that's what keeps bringing me back to them as the user, because say if you're going to hard use your knife, right, and you're going to be like fucking some shit up, at what point do you need a blade actually thicker than a Civivi, like for your practical use, being hard on it? You really don't, right? And like if you're actually gonna be, I mean, there's so many knives that can fit that bill. What's up? What is that?
Tubes logo.
Alien?
Yeah.
Yep. I'll trade my leg to make my badass knife my user. I know Talica, he does regrinds and shit on his, which I think is a great idea. What?
Doesn't, like, every time I see that sort of stuff, I just always think like, damn, you spent so much money just to work. Like, if the knife costs a lot of money, I just start thinking like, why wouldn't you just search harder for something better? Like, I understand there's some
Well,
people,
what if you found it?
I understand there's some people who are going to customize anything they get for the most part. And they just enjoy doing it, which is one thing. But if you're someone who has to pay the Metallica to do it, I don't understand that to an extent. Like, I understand, like, if you have a lot of money, maybe, but like when you don't, and this is a hobby, and
well, in all reality, like Metallica, a guy like Metallica doesn't have a massive collection. He has the knives he knows he loves.
That's like me buying a video game, and then when I get it, I go into the computer and I start modding everything to be the game that I want it to be. I don't get on the PC and start modding code on a game to make it better.
I don't know what you're talking about.
How does that? You don't need to know what I'm talking about. I'm saying that's like me spending $60 on a game, and then going on the computer and doing a few hours of work
I don't think it's like that.
To make the game,
I don't think it's like that.
You know, have a river landscape instead.
I don't think that's similar. I think it's similar. I think it's similar to saying, right, and also
they spend a lot of time doing it.
And also, people buy cars, right? Put rims on it, put a system in it. We're not
talking about just looks, though. We're talking about for functionality. We're talking about somebody, if you have to mod your knife for functionality.
Well, I don't think you have to. I think people find a knife that this is the one I love. And it's like, if it just had this, if this was just different on it, it'd be perfect. Like, most of us can't go and make our own knives. So what we do is we find the knife that best fits us and the everything about us and everything we love in a knife, and then change that little detail that makes it perfect. Whether it's swapping a scale, doing a regrind, adding a choil, adding a hole for, finger flicking. Regrinds are very functional. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I said for functionality.
Gamers buy skins. Some people want their knife unique.
Yeah.
That's true. That's so true.
Listen, you're misrepresenting my point.
I'm not.
Spewing shit backwards.
I'm not. Ed Durbin says, come on. We all know the fattest slash is both practical and badass. Shit, you can use it to cut your steak, open a letter, cut cardboard, kill zombies, and if you're attacked by, you could definitely do a lot with it. You fucking don't drop it on your toe though, for sure. Listen. What? You're gonna say what?
You have to customize your knife in order to make it functional for you.
It's not about functional.
I'm saying what it's about. How are you going to tell me what it's about when I'm talking?
I'm saying that when you mod your knife, it's not saying it's not functional. It's making it more functional for your purpose. Okay.
I'm saying if you're in the market with $500 for a knife that has this, and this, right? And you see a knife and you have $500 spent, and you see a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll see a knife that only has 4 out of the 5 things they need, still spend the $500 and then spend more.
Why'd you mod the fire ant?
That didn't cost anything, and that wasn't a functional mod.
I beg to differ.
Listen,
I beg to differ.
You're again totally misunderstanding. I'm not talking about for fun. That's different. I'm saying if you have to mod it to make it functional for you.
Right. And I'm
like saying, if I want that Ben Banter's knife and I'm saying it's not going to work for what I need it for, but I'm going to go ahead and spend $60 anyway and then make it work for what I need it for.
I don't think people really do that. I think people buy it
by like switching the blade shape or something like that, grinding it differently.
No, that's usually because they broke their blade from using it. Like regrind is usually because they want it to, they love everything about it and they just want a little bit better cutting geometry. It'll still cut. I'm saying
some people buy their knives with the intention that that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, if they love that knife. I mean, obviously, everybody does everything.
They didn't love it enough.
Everybody does everything
the way it was. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I think you can, like me personally, I love fucking hinders. Love them. The one downside, which is also an upside in some ways, because if you're going to fucking hard use it, leave it the way it is. But if you're going to use it for primarily cutting tasks, a regrind is the best thing to do to it. Like even Demko he's done some regrinds on some of his custom Demkos. Why? I mean, because it makes it that much more badass for that, for that reason. Like if it's going to be a cutter,
if the cost of the mod comes in under with everything you want, that's what I'm saying. That's different. I'm talking about, I guess, more for people who don't have the money to just throw at shit to make it the way.
Well, then they're not going to do it then.
But they do. Are you kidding me? There's tons of people within this hobby and every hobby that spend way more than they really have to spend on said hobby to get things the way they want.
Breeze is lucky you just got back from a car show. Yeah, I agree. But I just get a Civivi, right? If you're that guy, get a Civivi.
Or if you have the money, do whatever the fuck you want. I'm
Right,
just
of
saying
course.
that, you know, like I would be irritated as fuck if you spent $400 on a knife and then still had to do something to it. What was that $400 for?
Well, then I'd be paying $460.
Right. So
All right. Just to make that.
I guess
that
you could
one.
look at it like that. You're
Yeah.
definitely right. You could just be like, well, it's a $460 knife.
All right. And if you're getting it knowing like
Just
I'm
seems
not
like if
selling
for a
this,
knife,
this
you
is
should be getting like at that point what you want
well, that's what you're
the day
doing.
you open it.
That's what you're doing. No, that's not true. That's not true because everybody, it's like somebody, like I said, somebody getting a car and saying, fucking right when I get this thing off the lot, I'm dropping some rims on it, right? Or some new tires.
Yeah.
Or a system or a new paint job or something like that. You love that car so much, so fucking much that you're willing to put this on it. Now, if you didn't like it,
for fun,
you
though.
wouldn't
That's
be-
what I'm saying. Like the most.
It's the same thing. Same thing. Even if you're looking at it from a practical use, you still love it that much to make it more practical for you.
Unless you're talking about, I'm saying that if you want to spend
This
that
is a dead end
much-
argument. We've been arguing about
because
this
you
way
keep
too
going
long.
on a different thing.
No,
you keep
baby,
saying,
I keep saying
you
the
keep
same
going
thing.
back to cosmetic.
All right, we're done.
If someone loves it, they love it, and they can do that shit to it. I'm saying
You win.
if you have to do it for functionality, then I don't understand why people buy the knife.
Agreed.
Shut up.
You
talking about rims as if that has anything. It'd be like if someone had to buy, if they found the car that they loved, but the fucking car didn't have, you know, the right size or the right type of tires for the terrain they have to get to, and so they switch out the tires to get through instead of just buying the Jeep that already has it on it. It's just a different way of looking at it.
Agreed.
Just stop. That's super condescending.
I'm just trying to stop the argument so I don't have to sit there and listen to it. The Rockstead. Why? What are we up to? 66 people watching. We lost 10 people from fucking arguing.
That's super loud in my ear. I can't imagine how I listen to the mic.
What does that say? What does that say? In frivolous with knives, I don't care. Oh, I'm frivolous with knives. Bree says, I just looked. What the entire fuck? I missing for what? GD hour and you can't hit the fucking like button. I know. Some of them only watch just to not like the video. They literally jump in just to not like the video. They're like, I'm gonna watch, but guess what? You ain't getting a fucking like from me. No, sir. What's up?
Isn't it weird how some sounds hurt your eardrum? Like it actually causes a little pain. It's also it's not really that painful either, but we call it pain. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I mean loud. If it's loud.
Like if I get, that's what you said. If I get right in your ear and I go, ah, like
well, you
super.
said some sound, so I said if it's
sounds,
loud.
certain loud sounds then.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
Isn't that weird though? Because it's not pain, is it? I don't know. When you made that sound,
I busted my eardrum, so.
Well, that's different. But when you said something before, it did that to my ear, and I'm just like, why? You're loud all the time, and I never hear it, or that doesn't happen.
Fuck the like button. Now we know who's not dropping the likes. So my going into the whole Civivi thing was to talk about kind of like not to, and obviously a lot of people do get that, like to understand certain reviewers, and I'm talking about all reviewers, all knife reviewers, biases. You know, you're always going to have the biases from reviewers, but they're always going to like certain things or not like certain things. So you got to know what you like and what they don't, because sometimes paying attention to their opinion on something, you don't want to base your buy off of maybe something they like or don't like. And that includes me, because something that I might not like could be super practical for you. But like I said, just understanding and knowing the biases from the reviewers, because we're all biased.
Right. Not even gonna touch that one. Listen.
Yeah, I hope not.
I'm not going to. No, what I was gonna say is, I think the thing is when I think about that, which is what spurred the other argument too, is that I always think a bit. I think I'm always gonna think of most things unless I become really rich from the angle of a poor person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that's what it is. At the end of the day, I can't understand basically how anyone can do anything with money that's not needed or spend it super wisely in the first place. I think is what it is. I'm not saying that doing fun things isn't wise, because like someone said about video games with skins, I'm not going to say I've never spent something on a video game.
Yeah, and you can guarantee there's somebody out there right now that just that cannot fathom playing or buying something that's not actually doing any type of purpose to your life, like a video game.
You know, entertainment, you're saying?
Right. Any type of entertainment.
Yeah.
Like even buying a movie, like they just can't understand that.
Past a certain, right. But you know, the thing is too, is that, what, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm listening to you.
Oh, okay.
Quick amount so I can read it.
I was going to say, actually. I don't know why that made me forget what I was going to say. My own words made me forget what I was going to say.
If I started a channel, I would have a bias against Cold Steel and a bias for CRKT.
For CRKT? Get the fuck out of here.
Which is so backwards, but it's my bias. Yeah, and just like that, which would get you so much hate from the community. You have no idea. And
I'll be with you on the Cold Steel one, though. I think a lot of their shit's gimmicky, which it is knowingly gimmicky.
I would argue to the death about that, because
they sell stupid shit like
it's not. Well, obviously they sell
a lot of gimmicky shit.
Yeah, but
they also sell stuff that's not.
Yeah, but you know, all that gimmicky shit that you think is gimmicky is actually real. That's the difference. Like, say if you go and buy a fucking M-Tech thing, right, or something like that. It looks the part, but it is not. It's a wall ornament. They make real versions of all that stuff. Like if it's a sword, if it's a cane knife, if it's a this or that, it's real and it's practical and it actually can be used. That's what that guy does. Like, so like you might think a cane sword is unpractical, and you can see 1,000 of them online that are all pieces of shit. Try to actually use that thing. You would break it trying to defend yourself with it.
Fair.
Cold Steel makes real shit.
Where the gimmicky part gets in my mind is because you see so often that stuff is bullshit. But I guess with Cold Steel, it's really not. Which is why whenever you see people testing those things, it's always Cold Steel. Because those are the ones
because they can. Right. And then they have the strongest locks. Like if anybody who asks me, hey, I need a hard use knife, my first answer is always Cold Steel. Always. The Code 4 is a great knife. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I don't disagree about the greatness of the Cold Steel knives. I just would never pick up I guess if I'm shopping for knives, you're not going to find me in the Cold Steel section being like, these are all dope.
Read that.
And you guys, where's Kara? Now she's here, and you can't. Ain't nobody crying for where's Kara.
Oh, they do all the time. You have no idea. Just got a new 4max and loving the hacking ability. Yeah, and that's a knife you can hack with. You can beat on it. You can spine whack it. You can't do 90% of knives. You cannot spine whack, or you shouldn't.
Can I just make an argument about about Cold Steel? How many Cold Steels do you own that you've spent your own money on? 0.
I don't own any, period.
Right. Well, we've had some here before, but
we've had them, but I don't own them. I've never
And you are Neeves Knives.
Yep. I keep saying it too in some of the videos that I need to get.
You just said that like you were like fucking Brad Pitt.
I know, and I am, and I am. But
what I meant is that you have the.
I'm glad. In your name. You know what, baby? I'm so glad that we agree on this. I gotta get a couple Cold Steels, guys. Gotta get a couple Cold Steels.
I thought you meant the Brad Pitt thing.
Well, I would hope we agree on that too. Only knife I would own from Cold Steel, but they serve their purpose well. Right. I'm not a massive Cold Steel fan. The exact opposite of a Cold Steel fan. I don't hate them. Just a lot of their knives I think are super badass, and I highly recommend them. They're just not knives for me because I'm not a massive backlock fan. I love what the backlock can do, and I love the strength of it. I'm just not a massive backlock fan. But that Code 4 is sweet, though. I do like that, and it's because of the grind, the blade shape, and the rest of it. I do ask about you regularly, Kara. It's more fast paced when you're here. None of us can interrupt Jared the way you can. Oh.
I'm surprised it could be more fast paced when I'm here, considering you don't take a breath.
Bam. No, I don't. I try to write down a list of stuff I want to talk
I
about.
know, I was reading
and
the
I try to
list.
keep it going. But you know what I do notice though?
What?
Is I notice when I keep a fast pace and I keep it going,
When do you stop it?
what?
When do you stop it from going?
When I don't have nothing to talk about and I have to talk about what these idiots want to talk about.
Oh shit.
But no, I notice when I keep it going.
Yeah.
And I constantly have topics to talk about that I personally want to talk about.
Games.
I'm not done talking, baby.
They want me to interrupt you. Did you not read the comments?
The views are not views. The people on go up and they stay the whole time. They stay for a long time. Once I get trapped either on one subject for a very long time, they start leaving, or during certain topics, which I don't mind towards the end when I get to certain topics. But I watch every time I'm here, and I constantly watch the people that are here. Oh shit, Jared, patina titties.
I know, I read that. Is she here or something?
Probably. Idiots, me? Yeah, okay, I'll take that. No, I actually love it when you guys either join the conversation or add to the conversation because it keeps me, a bunch of donuts. Exactly, Breeze. Exactly. Got the fucking attention span of a box of donuts. But it keeps.
The difference between me and these people, though, is I have no choice but to listen to these lives. Whether I'm sitting in this
She ain't listening to shit. She's got headphones on.
I can hear.
You're so full of shit right now.
I had headphones on when you came in the live, right?
What, when I came in?
When you started it, whatever. I had headphones on, right?
Yeah.
And I busted in the store when I heard you say something about focusing against the camera.
Just because you randomly listened.
No, it's not random.
Don't mean anything.
It is not random.
Okay.
Don't you remember the time you quizzed me and you told me a whole story while I listened to the TV at the same time, and then I was able to repeat to you perfectly what you said?
I don't doubt that you can't do that. Patina for life. Hope your nephew's birthday went well. Oh, Grateful Panic. Yeah, I hope so too. I'm the idiot who's encouraging.
Side conversations all the time. Yeah.
But yeah,
that's
I love
where
it.
I used to get half of my ideas from, was reading Seems Logical.
Well, I do that too. Sometimes I'll go through the comments either on videos and I come up with topics from there because people ask some really good questions, and I always answer them, but sometimes they just make for a great topic to talk about. And then I also go around and watch other videos from other channels or other whatever, and I listen to some of the topics that were, like, I was going to do one, and this was on Knife Center. The guy from Knife Center talked about what was it, strength versus edge retention. So like knives that are tough, versus knives that can last a long time cutting. They have good edge retention, because there's a balance there that you're always trying to hit. And if you have great edge retention, you're going to lose strength. If you have a lot of strength, you're going to lose edge retention because they don't match. But you can get a medium ground there. But I was going to, talk a little bit about that in my opinion on it. But it's great though when the people in the comments are constantly commenting, constantly keeping it going, asking questions. But I don't like to rely on that, because a lot of people just like to sit and be entertained. They don't want to have to keep, it's not their duty or job to keep the live going. It's mine. So having topics to talk about, and, I've watched a lot of channels, and there's a couple that I've noticed have went like down, right? And it's because they talked about the topics that they were passionate about so many times that now they don't. Right. So so they have a channel, right? And through the growth of their channel, they had topics that they talked about that people loved. And they talked about it so many times that now they don't talk about them topics anymore. Right. And it's hurt them. It's literally made their subscribers, not the subscribers go down, but slow down. So like
Are you talking about a topic though that could be talked about multiple times?
Yeah, well, in my opinion, it can, because you have new people, new subscribers. You have people that constantly want to talk about, and you have a growing.
Wouldn't it drop off anyway if you were always talking about the same thing regardless? Just because then the new people would be entertained, but the old people would have heard
Well,
it?
no, because you can talk about it in different ways. You can test different things. But like I even heard one guy get mad because he had been asked a question fucking so many times. But of course you have, bro. Your fucking subscribers have changed. It's different people.
Yeah.
Right. And then I've had a guy when I've like said, like they've said, oh, let me know what kind of videos you guys want to see. And then I say it and they're like, oh, I did that video last year. So do it again. Right, do it again.
People don't realize it's just because you've done a video, it's not necessarily easy for people to go find them, especially because most of the people on YouTube aren't exactly tagging shit in the way that makes it necessarily easy to search things.
And
you know what I mean?
And you have people that are making that video too. So now when they go to look for your video, guess what? 20 other people come up, not yours. You got to remake it. And if you have a video that did well,
if it needs to be remade,
do it again. Well, obviously, like if it's about this knife particular, that's one thing. But say if it's about this steel, that's different, right?
But I'm saying like if it's like how to anodize a fucking titanium, like you could make that video more than once.
Yes, you could do it 100 times. Just because there's different colors, different everything.
Keep it updated than it would be to be like, yeah, I made that 3 years ago.
Thanks, Stutter and Bob. We appreciate that like.
This Stutter and Bob.
Always
you spelled your name, missed opportunity.
Always late to the game. Hello from Arizona. What's up? But
I wish I was in Arizona where it's not fucking cold like it was today. You have any idea how cold it got out there? Ridiculous.
Wait, what the hell does that say? There is no bottom. I can go lower. You bunch of multi-tool hacks. But yeah, I think not even just like the topics like that you're talking about, but also like specific things like that you should talk about more than once. Like sometimes people don't want to do a video, like say if it was about specifically 20 CV and you did it 2 years ago or last year, right? Well, just because you have that video doesn't mean even if your opinions are still the same, there's a way you can do that video again that's going to be better, that's going to be improved. Times change, your ability to make content changes. And so I just think like sometimes you want to go through all your old videos and basically redo them, upgrade them for 2021. And I've seen channels, and I've really noticed, and I'm not going to name who they are, but I've seen channels slowly drop off because they started making something and then slowly got into making less and less of the same content that made them grow to where they're at. And it's easy to fall off and start doing that, but you have to be creative and have to come up with topics and different things. And the things that you're interested in are the same things most of the community is interested in. Some people are not. Like I know sometimes when I talk about say sharpening, right, half the people don't give two fucks. Like literally, it's like speaking another language to them. It's like speaking alien. They're gonna fall off and not pay attention. But then there's the ones that are so interested in it, they will be stuck on it. Like they will listen to every detail.
Yeah.
So it just kind of depends on who you're talking to and everything. That's why I sometimes bring up sharpening stuff in here, but a lot of times I don't, just because I know it's specific people and I should make a video for that. The lives, I try talking about different topics that I'm interested in talking about, and then I let them kind of help out and run it.
All right.
You taking off?
I am.
All right, baby.
I can't sit in this chair.
It's okay. You want this one? All right.
I just don't want to sit. I just don't feel great.
All right.
I love you.
Love you.
And I love you guys.
Say bye, guys. She's fucking out of here. Last time you'll probably see her for the next 2 years. So. It's all right. I got it. Don't worry about it.
I got it. Start acting out those stickers.
We need more South Side stories. I got one for you.
South Side stories? From the South Side now?
I told a story about or no, I didn't tell a story about the South Side. I told a story about when I lived south of Chicago and we brought up the South Side the last time I was in here, and I said that I got a couple stories from the South Side, and they like
going there with your friends or whatever.
Yeah. Thank you, Jared. Thanks for helping to put my mind at ease about a new bug out purchase. Really enjoy your content. Awesome, man. Thank you for the donation. No problem. Anytime. So, 2 questions. What did you end up thinking about the Warspear 14C28N, and what are your thoughts on Spyderco's Bd1? So Bd1, I'm not a big fan. It's okay. It's an okay steel. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm not going to say there's something wrong with it. I'm just not a big fan of it. There's a lot of steels out there, and it's just not one that I'm huge on. That being said, it's an okay steel. For their 14C28N, I haven't gotten to test it yet, so I have not done anything with them. But to answer about Warspear, so a bunch of people did bring it to my attention that Warspear, I'm not going to say they're a clone because I haven't done enough research yet, but there are other companies that have the exact same knives with a different name on it. So, call it what you want. There's a company making knives and allowing other companies or people to put their names on it. It's kind of like me getting the same thing and putting Neevesknives on it. So I don't know if all of them are like that or if it's just one in particular, but there's one in particular that everybody keeps on telling me, yeah, there's also this model. It's the exact same thing. So that makes me lose a little bit of, love for them, but we'll see how it goes. I don't doubt that the 14C is not okay though. Yeah, the bacon micarta is pretty dope. Tactical Gears is an example. There you go. So I'm not sure if they're the ones who do it, but I'm still going to test them out and try them and everything, because I know a lot of people got them. I know a lot of people will probably be interested. They are a relatively cheap knife. But, I don't know. I feel like at this point, if you're going to spend, unless if you have them already and you've already bought them, but if you're going to spend 30, 40 bucks on a user and you need a good user, you should just get a fucking Civivi at this point. Because or a Kaiser, Tangram, Concept, because those are the top tier budget knives. Those are the knives. Now, if you could also get a Tucson and spend the same amount of money and probably get titanium, but those are going to be way more well built for the money. Better grinds, better everything, fit and finish. You just can't beat it. But if you just absolutely love the design and that's the knife you want, then obviously get it. But if you're using it for practical use, got a Civivi Brazen on the way. Awesome. The Brazen's dope. The Brazen is really sweet. I like the Brazen. So I was actually going to tell a couple stories. We'll wait till 9 o'clock to tell them, but maybe I'll switch the one to one of my Southside stories. What was one of the other things I wanted to talk about? Oh, speaking about Civivi really quick, and I didn't mean to make this whole episode about Civivi, but somebody brought up about Civivi's clips. They're great clips, and I agree. They're great clips. They're very functional, good quality clips. However, at this point in their journey, right? Remember when they first started out, they had titanium clips. Then they switched to steel clips, maybe to bring down the cost, maybe to make it deep carry for whatever reason. But you notice how every single one has the exact same clip. They don't change the clips, the exact same clip. And some of their designs look so good, but the clip makes it look budget. At some point, I think in order to keep going the way they are, especially dropping the heat that they do. Yeah, I love you. Especially dropping the heat. And thanks for joining me tonight, Bay. Especially with dropping all the knives they're dropping, the only way they're going to be able to keep going probably is to switch that damn clip out. Because think about some of their knife designs if they had a titanium milled clip or a titanium spring clip. It would make that knife that much better. It would take it from looking and being a budget knife to actually being a little bit better. And with these other companies catching up to them with the designs and doing basically the same price, same fit and finish, same materials, so on and so forth. You notice how Civivi's always beating their competition. If their competition comes with this, oh, they're coming with this. If their competition comes with the same thing, well, then they're going to come with. It's just a constant thing where they're always ahead of the game. So I think their next move, if they were smart, would be to make some new clips and possibly like 3 because using the exact same clip on every single knife, it's kind of boring, and a lot of people look at the clip. Now, some people, I used to be a guy that liked the I don't know what you call the other side. You have the show side. What's the other side called? Lock bar side. But I used to be the guy that thought the lock bar side looked better than the show side. Why? Because the clip, the colors, usually that's where you can see the different colors. You could see the tools and the parts and stuff, depending on if it's a frame lock or not. But I used to think that like this side with all the parts and everything was much cooler than that side. Obviously not saying the show side ain't fucking cool. I'm just saying that, people's eyes get attracted to that side. So having cool parts on that side or a badass clip can make or break a design. And if they upgraded their clips, man, they would be doing so much better. I don't know if they can do any better than they are, but they would be able to keep up. Like, put it this way, any of the designs that they have today, if they change their clips, and changed one thing on it, they'd be able to sell them tomorrow. Because to a lot of people's eyes, even though it is the same knife, it's different because it's got a different clip. What did Lindy say? It is so crazy how much it's evolved in 15 years. Literally, it's night and day difference. From the knives that you used to be able to get, the only way you could get good action on a knife was if it was assisted 15 years ago. It was like they just could not do detents. Detents was out of the question. Knife companies just could not get it down. They didn't know how to do a detent. Now it's like every knife has good well, not every one, but a lot of knives have great detents. And then the materials, like this knife right here 15 years ago would have been a $500 knife for sure. M390 copper micarta deep carry clip, even though it's a steel liner, it still would have been $500. I'm curious to see where it goes in the next 5 years. Me too. And I think that that a lot of companies are going to have to, just to keep up with people's attention and everything, they're gonna have to keep upgrading and upgrading and upgrading, which is crazy to say because you think like, how could they upgrade from what they're doing now? We're in a great time for knives, and it's hard to think a knife being able to upgrade from where we're at. You notice how the materials are slowly dropping, right? In price, I mean, the quality's getting up and the prices are dropping, which means that they have to come out with something better. There's only so much of one thing you can take before where's the next. So yeah, I'm very interested in too. Personally, not too big on the arcane designs, but I can respect it. Very innovative, very different. Same old. Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm not a big fan of the arcane designs. They're too much for me. I personally, so straight lines, or should I say sharp lines. Some knives I can handle, some sharp lines. Too much, I look at it, and this is exactly what I think when I see it. What goes through my brain without me even trying. It's not functional and it's uncomfortable. That's all I see. When I see a knife with a whole bunch of straight lines, not comfortable, not functional. A functional knife is comfortable in the hand and it cuts good. And straight lines just don't go well, usually. Not always. obviously there's going to be, what's up, Stasa? Stasa 23's in the house. What's up, bud? S35 yen is about to be the new D2. Yes, I agree. Yeah, it is. It is already. It is the new D2, or the new D2. And eventually, and if you look, M390 is doing that too. M390 is on its way. I mean, look at these. I mean, look at what Tucson's doing. Now, that goes into the heat treat thing, though, because just because they can do it doesn't mean that it's a good thing. That's where we have to pay attention and have to keep them accountable for what they're selling us. Just because they sell us a number doesn't mean it's done right. And that's why I was talking about it the last time, that instead of pushing the type of things we're getting, we should be pushing for better quality. Instead of pushing micarta, we should be pushing good quality micarta. Instead of pushing super steel this, super steel that, push good quality heat treats. And so many companies, man, if that's what they're, in my opinion, I think that if we had a company come out that literally did everything possible, and I'm talking about whatever they had to do to advertise, this is good quality 20 CV. This is heat treated to 62 to 64. Quality heat treated. We heat treat only 5 of them at a time or something. Like everything that you'd want in that steel, they would sell like hotcakes, because you would have people like me screaming from the hilltops about it, and other people listening and understanding. Or even any other steel, if like 14C28N, if we had a company coming out saying, hey, we heat treated 14C to 61 and we got it to the edge retention similar to S30V, people would be going crazy about it. What's up, Bama Knife Guy? Where the fuck have you been, man? And when the hell are you coming on one of my lives? I'm waiting for you to contact me so we can get you on here, man. 8K. Wait, 8,000 is going to his head. Let's see where 10. You know what? Speaking about that, yeah, we are almost to 10K. What are we at? 8.2 already. Yes, it's going to my head, but my next journey is 10K, not even 9. I want to hit 10. Just pass 9 right up, right to 10. But I can't do it without your guys' help. So if you're not subscribed, help me out. Help me out. Help me out with my journey. Help me out with my goals. I got goals, and it's good to have goals. Thinking about you in the shower, sweetheart. I know you are. I know you are. Hey. Everyone see Demco is doing a tweener 8020. So cool. Needs to put them into production next. Yeah, I seen he was doing like one in between the production one, or whatever you call it, the 20.5 and the actual 20. It was like right in the middle. And I thought it looked badass. The one I really liked that I seen him do was a hollow ground version. Holy shit. A hollow ground AD20. Whoo! That looks badass to me. Badass. Kara would chime in when you said that. Yeah, she would, wouldn't she? I'll tell you what, guys. This damn Tucson right here, the 301, extremely impressive. Extremely. Like, this one's blown me away a lot. And you guys know I love Tucson's, but a lot of them don't speak to me. This one almost didn't, because the design is not usually up my alley, but damn it, has it wound up in my alley. It really has. I'm loving it. So just so you guys know, if you guys are ever wanting sharpening supplies, go to sharpeningsupplies.com. Right now, my favorite strap that I have comes from sharpeningsupplies.com. No, they did not ask me to advertise for them or shout them out or anything. I'm doing it to help you fucks. So If you guys need some sharpening supplies, go to sharpeningsupplies.com. I'm serious though. My favorite, I got my DMT diamond spray from them, and that new strop, which is their strop that they make. The best leather I've gotten yet. Really good quality, and they're cheap. Like, they're real cheap. Oh, so acoustics. The 129 is your favorite. The 129 is great. I like a lot of them. It's hard for me to pick which one I like the most. But damn it, if this one's just, man, the detent is so well tuned. The clip is actually a ball clip that works. The action is so amazing. It slices like a champ. I mean, look at how tall the flat grind is. It gets down very thin behind the edge. So, but where do acoustics come from? Let's talk. Well, maybe we'll talk about a couple of these things you guys are talking about, and then we'll go to acoustics. So, Jared, can we get an update on how that straight razor is holding up? Okay, so I was actually gonna talk about that. So I'll be honest, guys. I used it today. Not on my face though. So I stopped using it soon after I made that video. I shaved with it a couple times after that. And the reason why is it's the steel. So the steel isn't getting the level of sharpness that I want. And I should have expected that. It's just a cheap one, guys. I bought it for like $15 or something. I don't know what I paid, but it is cheap. It was from Amazon. So the steel isn't the best quality. So the edges I get on it aren't as great as I'd like. Maybe it would get that good after a few sharpenings or something, but it's just dumb stainless. Like, there's nothing special about the steel, which I don't know if there needs to be, but you know, the better the steel, the better of an edge I'm going to be able to get on it. It does work great for other body parts, because you know, you don't have to tap out a razor or anything like that. I got asked, but no, I stopped using it, and I've just been using my regular, just my regular razor. Like I said, I do use it sometimes though. I want to get one with better steel. But anyways, no, I don't shave my legs. Jared, can you feel the tip of the two? No, not at all. Somebody else said something like that, and no, not at all. Like, I have to smash my finger in there and really try to get it, and then I can barely get it. But it's not like I have to literally smash. But just going like this, no, not at all. I have to go sideways, and I have to try. So no, that's not even a thing. Mike Heiser Halion has great acoustics. Yeah, we're going to talk about acoustics here in 1 second. Yeah, I shaved my butt cheeks. That's what it is. I've never tried the Norseman. I've never. Oh, you're probably talking about somebody else, because I've never got to try it. Get a regrind on one of those 20 CV blades for a razor. Thought about that. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. As long as it doesn't get burnt. I could regrind one. I might, like I said, I got the thing to do regrinds. I've been caught up with, work, doing the channel and everything else. I'm thinking about starting another channel on a whole nother topic, nothing to do with knives. I'll probably do that within the next 6 months. But I do need to get that system out and do some regrinds. I've got so many strops. Some I made from expensive leather, but my favorite strop is the inside of a soda can box. Takes the compound great, doesn't make the edge convex, and easy replaceable. Well, they do have the hard leathers that, like the one I got from Viking leather. Yeah, the Viking edge. This is the hardest leather I've ever felt. It's very hard, and this is the soft side. This is the, the whatchamacallit side, but it's so hard. It's okay. I mean, it's a good strop, but I like the fuzzy stuff. And I don't really ever have a problem with convexing my edge, but I know people do though. So, have a 940-2 you can regrind. I'm ready. I'll regrind that bitch. What do you feel is a good max bid? For what? This Tucson? Um I can say what I think it's worth. I think it's worth $100 or more. I mean, with the materials, it's well worth over $100. If it was made in America, it'd be a $350 knife all day, if not more, if it was made in the US. But specifically from Tucson, I would say stop by 100, just because, and I'm only saying this because you could get it for 80-90 bucks. I think I paid 80 something dollars, 80 bucks or something. So, and that was at White Mountain Knives. Yeah, so you can, I wouldn't pay more than 100, but anything 100 or under is a great deal for it. You're not going to go wrong. I mean, like I said, it's worth more than that. Just like most Tucsons are. I'm going to say there's some that are shit, like just because I don't like them because they're not my style. But that one is really well built. They're all really well built, but it's got the materials, 14C28N. They do a good job with it. The geometry is amazing. The micarta is really good. The carbon fiber is really good. The action is amazing. The thumb studs, look at them thumb studs, man. These are badass thumb studs. Thumb studs like this on custom knives would cost $100 just by themselves. Jared shaved his balls on camera, which that's what you missed. You missed me shaving my balls with a straight razor. Yeah, no, that's only for OnlyFans, baby. White Mountain is a good gauge of the high-end price for Tucson. Yeah, also Amazon. Go on Amazon, you can see, or AliExpress. That's the best way because AliExpress has them all. Tucson has a deal with AliExpress. They sell knives on there. So you can get any of the models, just buy them outright. And you can see the actual price. And you should never pay too much more than that. So like say if AliExpress has it for 80 bucks. If you win a bid on eBay because AliExpress is sold out and you paid 90, is it that big of a deal? Nah, probably not. But if you can just go right over to AliExpress or Amazon and buy it outright, don't pay more than what you can buy it outright for. Now, if you really want it and Amazon sold out, AliExpress is sold out, White Mountain Knives is sold out, then go on eBay and pay $5-10 more, because everybody else does the same thing. They look at it and say, I'm going to stop my price at what I can get it from Ali for, or I'm going to stop the price at what I can get it from Amazon for. So what you can do is pay a few dollars more than that and you can win it. Granted, you're going to pay more than what Ali and, White Mountain Knives are charging, but hey, you still got the fucking knife. My 8-month-old keeps sterling my brass and copper mash drop light out of my pocket. Wallaby's out of here. Have a good night, Wallaby. Thanks, brother. Peace out. Thank you for coming. Have you done the studs on the Spencer? Not yet, man. I was supposed to do it the other day, and time got the best of me, and I've been just so cramped up with time, but I am going to probably do it. I'm going to try to get it done before Monday. That's what I'm talking about. That's the only thing that stops me is getting those ones out. I got the vise though to do it, so it's not like I can't do it. I can do it. All you do is you just use a socket and the vise, and you put the head of the stud on, in the socket, and then you close the vise and push it out with something else, like a bit. Jared, story. Okay, what do we got? Oh yeah, we're past 9:04. So this one's a quick story, and I think I've told this story. I might not have. I don't remember. Don't worry about your workhorse, man. Don't worry about it. I lost it. So this one is about running into a bear. So Kara was actually with me for this one. So pull the mic and then we'll get the story time. Anyways, so me and Carol went to Colorado. We went to Colorado. And I got one more pretty gangster ass story after this. But this one's a wildlife story. So me and Carol went to Colorado and we happened to see 3 bears while we were there. The first one we were driving and he was crossing the road, or she was a big bitch. Her head was, we were in an SUV and the bear's head was up to the window and it was on all 4 legs, so not standing up. And we drove past it, but then I think we stopped and he wound up walking behind the SUV, or she did. So that was the first one. So the second one, we were at our cabin. So we were at our cabin and there's a trail behind the cabin that goes deep into the woods. And we're on the trail. And so when we're on the trail, we had seen a bear, like for a second, like in the woods, and it's like, is that a fucking bear? And it's like, yeah, that's a bear. So we kept walking or whatever, and we're going down a path, and next thing you know, fucking like a stick like gets thrown at me or something. And I look at Kara, because Kara's behind me now, like she's like, I don't know, 50 feet behind me. I said, did you just throw a stick at me? And she goes, no. And then here drops a fucking bear out of a tree. No, not drop, sliding down the tree. Now bears grab the tree and they slid all the way down. Bam! I'm right in front of him. I mean, I'm at the tree. Like I can touch the tree. So he's right there in front of me. Maybe like 6 foot, 9 foot, something like that. He's right there. And so I'm looking at this bear, and he's like this on the tree. And he's like this looking at me, like he's staring right at me, just like this, like looking at, and I know better, doing animal psychology and understanding animals. I'm not turning my back on him. I want to keep my eyes on him at all times. Well, so fucking my first instinct is fucking, how am I going to gut his ass? Because, primal instincts, I don't know. So I fucking, grabbed the old knife in my pocket. Not saying it would have worked, but he'd have known he got into a fight, I'll tell you that much. But he's looking at me, and I can see from his body language. That he's looking for a way out. Like he's scared. He's fucking terrified. And he keeps going like this, like he doesn't want to take his eyes off of me. He's literally like this, like staring at me, but I can see him like doing that stuff. So like what he's doing is he's looking for his exit. Kara happened to be towards that exit. So I told Kara, with a soft voice, I told Kara to get over to the side, right? Because he needs an exit. You don't want to close him in and make him, I'm not backing up. Yeah. Right. I'm not gonna turn around at least. So when I realized, though, he's literally right now looking for a way out, I need to give him a way out, which isn't my direction. So I slowly started backing up. I kept a calm voice, too. Like I didn't say nothing at first. But then I just kind of kept a calm voice when I was talking to Kara, and I just slowly backed up while keeping myself faced at him. Because if he would have came at me, I'm not fucking running. I'm fucking eating bear for dinner. So I backed up slowly, and he while I'm getting off the tree, and then he stood there for a minute, though. He didn't want to turn his back on me neither. But once he realized I was backing up far enough, he turned around and went the other way. But then the next day, we seen another fucking bear. This one came to the cabin, and it was at the cabin. There were some pictures. We threw them on Instagram. It was a little baby cub. The one we ran into was it wasn't like a big ass one, but you could tell it wasn't a baby, but it wasn't a big one. It was like a teen or something. But black bears don't get gigantic anyways. I think they get like 200 pounds or something like that. 250 pounds or some shit. But yeah. Next story. So let's I'm gonna go through some comments and then we'll go to this next story. Fireman pole. Yeah, just like on a fireman pole. Exactly. This is a situation where that gimmicky cold steel wouldn't seem so gimmicky. Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't remember what I had in my pocket. Oh, I remember what I had. I had a Benchmade Griptilian in my pocket because I just bought it from the knife shop in Colorado. If you guys want to check that video out, it's I don't remember. But we went to a knife. What was the knife shop called in Colorado? Come on, baby. What was it? Well, it was in Colorado. We did a whole video on the store. They let us film it. I was like, hey, I got a knife channel. It's not very big, but I got a knife channel and I'd like to come check some of your knives out if you wouldn't mind and film that shit. They said, go right for it. That was like, at the time, was like the most edited video we ever had. We had music in it, had this, that. It was yeah, good something Schwartz. I don't know, fucking Guden Schwartz or something. I don't know, something like that. That's why I carry a pistol everywhere. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I know you do, bud. I know you do. Oh, boy's a felon. So your boy's a felon. We have a shitload of bears up by our cabin. They come about 10, 15, 20 feet from the actual cabin. A lot of big ones too. I bet. Yeah, if I was up there, I definitely like if I, especially like living anywhere like that where it's like a constant thing, especially if it's going to be grizzlies. Like I wouldn't really worry about black bears too much. I think honestly, I think I could kill a black bear, but like grizzlies and stuff, yeah, I would want to make sure I have a rifle, shotgun, firearms around the cabin. Calica's drunk. Where does it go? We have a lot of bears here in Wisconsin. Yeah, especially up north where the cabin is. Black bears aren't nearly as big as grizzlies, but they still can get up to 500 pounds. Yeah, some black, like the one we saw crossing the road, that was a big bitch. So running into her, yeah, she probably would have took me out. But some of the average black bears, I think I could take it. With a knife, I'm saying. Like, I think I could take it. Obviously with a firearm, but with a knife, I think I could take it. Bare hands? Probably not. No. I'd definitely be biting back though, but it wouldn't do too much. Don't need a pistol. You need a buddy. You can. Where'd it go? You don't need a pistol. You need a buddy you can outrun. Oh, that's hilarious. That's like the saying goes. It's like, you don't need to be faster than a shark. You just need to be faster than your person you're with. What knives are you guys all fidgeting with? I'm sitting here fidgeting with the Kaiser October. I got the Kaiser Deviant. I got the XM24. And I was also fidgeting with this new one from Concept, the Concept Stellar. And the Shaman knife was also earlier. I put it back in its case. I got the new Concept Convict. And I got a lot of knives next to me. I got the Slim Midi. I love that Slim Midi. Listen to that acoustics. Oh, yeah, we were going to talk about knife acoustics. But we're on stories now. So, next story. So, somebody was asking about a South Side story. So, I can go with the South Side story, or I can talk about one of my friends having to run from the cops. Which one do you guys want to hear? South Side story or a friend that shot himself in the finger and ran from the cops? It's up to you guys. First answer is the one I'm telling. So we got my friend that ran from the police. Funny story. I mean, I'm involved, but he was the one running. Okay, running from the cops. It's an addiction. He's the one who named it. So, all right. So let me just say, after this, I want to tell this story really quick and we'll rewind back to it. So my buddy fucking gets shot in the hand. Um, I think it was his friend had the gun or had a gun or something, and I don't know if he was handing it to him or what. Blew his fucking thumb. I mean, inside out, blew it backwards. And he comes to my house, and it's like all wrapped up or whatever, or like, you know, it's all like fucked up. And I said, dude, you need to go to the fucking hospital. He's like, I did. That's how bad it was. Like, it was already stitched up. Like, it looked horrifying. It's good. I mean, he's locked up right now, but I mean, it's fine now. It wound up healing. But yeah, it was blown. Like, it hit perfectly right here, hit the bone, shattered the bone, and just took it was a 40, by the way. And took the skin and everything and just blew it backwards inside out. So they had to rewrap it back up. Anyway, so same dude. It's a black gentleman, and he so I get this call, right? He calls me, and he's my homie, he's my friend, you know. Right now he's locked up, and I was actually locked up with him the last time I was locked up. He was in there. And yeah. Anyways, he calls me, and he's like, yo man, I had to ditch the cops, right? So let me backstory. So what happened was he was in his car, and he's got things on him. You guys can imagine. He's got things on him, and he can't get caught. All right. First of all, I don't think he was supposed to be driving. It was his car, by the way, his car. But he had stuff on him, and if he got busted, he would be doing the time he's doing now, right? So he couldn't get busted. So what he did was he ran from the cops, made it to my neighborhood, then fucking jumped out of the car and ghost rid the car. So the car's ghost riding. So even though like he hopped out, like he turned the corner and there was like a hill. So he jumps out and then runs into the woods and lets the car ghost. It's a trick people do to get rid of the cops, or, you know, get away from the cops. Well, it worked for a second, you know. So the cops, you know, the car hit something or whatever, and now he's on the run. And I happen to live by a wooded area, so he's up in the woods. Well, he calls me, and he's, you know, I can hear it in his voice. The fucker's out of breath. He's panicking. I'm like, what's wrong? What's wrong? You know, he's like, yo, he's like, he's like, dude, I had to ditch the cops. He's like, I need you to help me. And he's he's on foot now, running from them. And at this time, they had already been chasing him in their cars, so they have a whole team already. They're already ready, right? So if he doesn't get out now, he's fucked. They have helicopters, you know, they're gonna get it. So my house was right there, right? So I just told him, I said, you know, I told him which door to go through, you know, how to get in my house, because I wasn't there yet. I wasn't at my house yet. So I told him how to get in. And so now so he gets in my house, and the cops are swarmed. My crib is swarmed. And not just my crib, everywhere. The whole area is just swarmed. They're fucking everywhere. Dogs, everything. So he's worried about fucking the dog, right? Which, in my opinion, he shouldn't be worried about the dog. But he's worried about the dog. So he's like trying to I don't know what he was thinking, like cover up like the scent or something from running in my door or something. So he like pours water out of the door. Now he hears the chopper, right? So he calls me up. He's like, yo, he's like, they got the chopper, and I'm almost back to my house, right? But I'm not there yet. This is gonna get funny. So he's like, they got the chopper, you know, and if you guys don't know, the helicopters have the heat sensors, you know, where they can actually see you. So if you're in the woods ducking underneath a rock or something, they can see you. You can't hide from that chopper. So he's like, man, he's like, they're gonna see me in your house with that thing. And I kind of knew better than that, but so he's like, what can I do? I said, hug the fridge. Because appliances give off heat. So I told him to hug the fridge. Well, I now that I remember, I was like 30, 45 minutes away. I called him back like an hour later or like 40 minutes later, right before I get there. I was like, what's going on? He's like, I'm still hugging the fridge. Fucker's hugging the fridge for like an hour because this chopper's riding back and forth looking for him with the heat sensor. Right. So they couldn't get his ass. They didn't get his ass. I got back there. And they had the whole area surrounded. So if I would have left, we were going to put him in the trunk and we were going to get him out of there before because they were using dogs too. So if the dogs tracked him to my location, I don't think that would give them any right to go in or anything, but that's what we were worried about. We were worried about them getting tracked to there and a judge randomly giving the okay or signing the thing for them to search my house for him. So we were thinking about, let's get him in a trunk and let's get him out of the neighborhood, but they're also checking cars now, like when you're trying to pull off from the neighborhood, they're making sure people aren't held hostage and stuff like that. He had some violent charges and everything. I think he's in right now for somewhat of a violent charge, not really some gun stuff. Anyways, but yeah, so we waited till the basically like died down, and they basically they investigate by section. So once they were basically done with my little area, they moved to the next, and we got him out of there. So everything wound up being okay. He didn't wind up getting caught. Then he called his car in stolen, and it worked. So he wound up getting his car back. I think they tried to hold him against him, but they didn't. It wound up getting confiscated by the cops. The cops kept it in the impound for a long time. He wound up getting it back months later. But yeah, it was like a new car too, like fucked up in every single way. But I guess in a way it still worked out for him because it was like my car, or my life. So, but yeah, it was pretty crazy. I thought it was hilarious. So when I told him to hug the fridge, and he sat there for an hour hugging the fridge. So I'm gonna tell one more. Fuck it, we'll tell a South Side story. Thank you, Mark. I remember hiding a half an 8-ball in a cheeseburger because we got busted by cops, didn't find it, got away with it. I knew someone that hid an entire 8-ball in a tape deck of a car, and they didn't find it either. He got arrested because he had a DUI, but they never found that. So the next day we go to the impound because they impounded the car to get the car and what else out of there. Oh, whatever works, right? I've known a lot of people to hide a lot of things in cars and not get busted. Even myself. I mean, I've did tons of stuff and didn't get caught. Why are you driving around with pool balls? Very funny, Don. Very funny. So, this is a story from Chicago, a bad neighborhood. It was Humble Park, and when I was younger, I had a lot of friends that were affiliated in gangs and everything else, and my friends were all older than me. So at the time, this friend, I was like at this time 14, 15. My friend was 21, and we went to Chicago he was because Humble Park is kind of a Hispanic area, and we were going there to hang out for the weekend. He had people there and everything else. So he's a Puerto Rican fella, and we went there, and where we went was like the hood of the hood, like as hood as you can get, like very dangerous, like stupid to even go just to get where we were going. We had been checked and stopped by people affiliated like 3 times just to make sure, because you can't go to some of those neighborhoods unless you know somebody. Like if you don't know somebody, and I'm going to get to the story of what happens to somebody when you go there and you don't know nobody. So we went there and we're hanging out, we're fucking smoking blunts and drinking. I remember I wound up getting this had never happened to me before, but at the time afterwards, after the weekend was over, we were doing like this blunt thing where you take a blunt and you take a bottle of liquor and you basically shotgun the blunt with the liquor and you're drinking basically the smoke and the liquor. Well, I had never smoked so many blunts in my life. And I got so fucked up when I came home. I had busted a blood vessel in my eye. I had never seen no shit like that, but it happened. And so I had a bloody eye for like a week, or like no, probably like 3 weeks. Anyway, so we're down there in Chicago. We're just chilling, right? We're in the neighborhood, basically like on a porch, right? And it's all the whole time it's like sketchy as hell. Like it's just straight, like just like watching people come by and like checking them. Like that's what I'm watching like the whole time. The whole time I'm watching violence. Like fucking all they're worried about is who's coming by and who's going. Like that's all they were worried about the whole time. And I already know like this is some fucking stupid shit. I don't know why I'm here. Like I'm fucking white boy. I'm gonna get fucking killed down here. And I almost got into a fight for being a fucking white boy, but I didn't. Anyway, and over a chain too. Anyway, so I'm sitting there and we're all sitting there and this person turns the corner and I'm guessing they're from either another neighborhood or they're like lost. So they turn the corner and they just stop. And these dudes, the people I'm with, fucking run over there, jump on like the hood of the car, takes a brick, throws it through the fucking windshield of this car. I don't think it went all the way through, but through at the windshield. And they're like, obviously screaming all the shit they're screaming. Dude runs out because like they had like a pistol hidden up in like the roof or whatever, like the ceiling tiles or something. But the ceiling tiles were like right inside the door. So there was like ceiling tiles as soon as you walk in the front door. Dude winds up grabbing the fucking gun, comes running out there shooting at him. These people, I bet you they just were lost. Like they probably didn't do nothing wrong. Because nothing was said about anything. They stopped, and for stopping where they stopped, I watched them get shot at, a brick thrown through their fucking windshield, and crazy motherfuckers all around them, like stomping their car, kicking their car, all kinds of shit. And, like that's a moment when you're like, man, this is fucking crazy, man, because I don't know if it was a woman, a man, or anything like that. I think it was a couple that was in the car, but it was just so crazy to watch this shit. Like I seen a lot of crazy shit. Don't get me wrong. Like that wasn't nowhere near the craziest thing I've seen, but just how petty it was. And, like through the next couple days, it just seemed like all it was like these one dudes came walking by and we're sitting on the porch. It was nighttime. And I watched these motherfuckers, these gangster ass motherfuckers that I'm with, basically shit their pants. Like these two dudes walk up, right? And you can tell the way these dudes are even walking down the street and carrying themselves. Something about them, right? Like, what are you doing walking down the street like that, right? Well, when they walked up and they didn't start talking shit, but they shook up with dude. And I basically said some shit to him. He said some stuff back, and I watched everybody shit their pants. Like he was basically saying he was a maniac and like who he was affiliated with and whatever. But basically the words he said basically gave him rank to be there, like over everybody, and fucking making it to where those people couldn't do anything. Like if they fucking even disrespected them, it would have been a really bad situation. So everybody kind of like shit their pants and I gave them respect and everything else. But I couldn't help but think like the whole time, like I'm there. And this is just one weekend, right? I've fucking been there, a few times. Obviously it's not a place you really want to go. Like the south side, some of the west side, like there's places you don't fucking go, man. You just don't go there. Like it's stupid. Like north side or north like of the city, it's all like beautiful rich people, rich houses and everything. But then there's like the downtown area by the lake. But once you get to like the south side and like some of the west side, it's fucking a war zone down there. It's so crazy. And just to get to some areas, you got to get through so many areas. So you're blocked in by neighborhood upon neighborhood upon neighborhood upon neighborhood. It's like a sea of neighborhoods just to get to certain places. So you ain't getting nowhere fast. Not at all. Everything's so tight. Just to drive down a street, you're either going to have a one-way or you're going to have cars blocking. So it's only like one, you can only barely squeeze through. And everybody on those blocks knows who's lived, usually knows, and they can look at you and see, like, and tell if you're from there. And like us just pulling up when we were looking for dude's house, because my buddy didn't even know where the dude like lived or whatever, like just asking for his location, like was crazy, like just finding out. But that was just one crazy weekend. There's a lot of stories I could tell about there, but some stories you just can't talk about really. But that one came to mind when somebody was asking me to tell a Southside story. Watching those people get their fucking car fucked up and shot and everything just for stopping, for turning a corner and stopping on their block because they didn't belong. Now, if they would have just turned and kept going, everything would have been fine. What happened was they were worried that they were there to do something to them. So since they're always worried about that and always paranoid that somebody's going to pull up and shoot them, they have to shoot first. So that's how they live their life all day, every day, is just who's coming to shoot at us and who are we, or how, it's just survival of the fittest, And when that car stopped, their reaction was to do something before something happened to them. And in my opinion, when I looked at it, I said, it's a fucking lost couple. It's somebody lost. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, but very paranoid. What you is. But yeah, exactly. Yeah, what you is. Yeah. But yeah, I always grew up I didn't grow up like in Chicago. I grew up in North Chicago, not the north side of Chicago. There's a difference. So there's the North Chicago is a different city. It's separated from Chicago. So there's Chicago, which there's the southwest, east, north side of Chicago. Then there's North Chicago, which is by Waukegan. That's where I grew up. And back in and it's just a giant shithole, giant ghetto, all Section 8. There's a Navy base there. And the only good, I'm not gonna say good people, because I know a lot of people there. A lot of people I love live there, but mostly the decent people that live there are on the Navy base, but you never see them. They're on the base. The base is separate, But what was I about to say? I forget what I was about to. Oh yeah, back in the 90s, or it was late 80s, early 90s, Cabrini Green. I'm sure you guys have heard of Cabrini Green in Chicago. They shut it down because of how bad it was, how violent it was. It was crazy. If you don't know about Cabrini Green, look up some stories. Well, anyways, when they shut that down and they knocked those buildings down from Cabrini Green, all those people moved to North Chicago. So in like 89, 90 or something, maybe 91, they all moved to North Chicago. So a lot of the people that were from there still live there, but that's where they went at the time. And I'm not saying that that's what made it bad. I'm not saying that, but it kind of tells you what type of area it is, right? If you take the people that lived in Cabrini Green and they get shipped and moved basically to there, it tells you what type of shithole it is. Acoustics. Let's go to acoustics really quick. We got 76 people, and we'll end it right here on acoustics. Knife acoustics. Where does a knife acoustics come from? So what are knife acoustics? Knife acoustics is a sound that your knife makes when you open and close it. All right? Knives have different sounds. So I think there's a few different ways you can look at it and how the acoustics come out of the knife. But when the knife locks up, it's going to hit the stop pin. When it hits the stop pin, the lock bar locks up. Well, both of those happening simultaneously at the same time, it sends a vibration down the inside of the knife, which comes out the back, the bottom, the front, the lock bar. And so depending on the geometry of the blade, so the blade, if it's a hollow grind, flat grind, thinly ground, thick ground, whatever, depends on the acoustics that are going to come out of that knife when it hits the stop pin and the vibrations come out of it. Now, another thing can be a big factor of the sound is the clip, because clips, if they're touching, they usually don't. But if they're barely above the scale, like this, then they do. See how it's hovering? That will make a sound come out of the clip, because the clip will literally, kind of like a guitar string, it vibrates all the way down to the tip, all the way down to the tip of the clip. So when you mix the lock bar, because the lock bar side is vibrating, which vibrates the clip, and at the same time those sounds come out. Now when you get like soft sounds, or more where they're not so much of a vibration sound, it's, you know, more muffled, that's usually because the scales are G10 micarta. They're more of a soundproofing scale. Plastic makes it usually louder, but depending on the materials, and then also if where the gaps are. So if you have the difference between, say, a full backspacer or no backspacer, it's going to have a different sound. If you have standoffs versus a backspacer or an integral, you're going to have a different sound. So having all, you know, depending on how the construction is built, depends on how the acoustics come out of that knife. So we have something like this that's just a smack. Now when it drops, you can hear it hit the stop pin on the close, because there's also the closing stop pin, which is going to be the closing sound. So when you listen to the Slim MIDI on the open, you can hear that dink. That is the stop pin making the clip vibrate. Now on the close, you can hear it hit the stop pin. A lot of people look at it and think it's the front of the blade hitting down in here. No, it's actually hitting back here, or actually right here where it stops against the scales for this one. See where it stops against the scales? So that's making a noise when it hits. This is kind of quiet, but all different sounds. Some knives have some really cool sounds. Also, the different locks too, depending on how strong the lock is. You know, when it smacks itself in place, like listen to this lock up. It's like it snaps in. That's a beautiful sound. But yeah, depending on how it happens or how the lock locks up, this one, I love the sound of this one. But yeah, that's about it, guys. I hope we had some fun tonight. The Griptilian does have a badass sound. Is it close by? I don't. Oh, fuck. It's not. Oh, it's so loud, the Griptilian. It smacks so loud. You know another one has a really cool sound? The Wee Malice. Take care, guys. I love you guys. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Thanks for all the donations. Thanks for watching. Wish oils. Wish I could find some carbon fiber scales. Check out Flytanium. Flytanium's probably got some. Mini Slim Pickens. Yes, the Slim Pickens definitely has a good sound. Bama Knife Guy, you're definitely going to come on one of my lives. I'm going to get you on here one way or another. Later, Gators. All right, guys. I love you guys. Peace. Damn, will we go for 3 hours tonight? Damn near.